Now, let me ask you a crucial question. How many of you have this kind of holding back whenever it comes to talk to a fluent speaker in your new language? How many of you have that ridiculous feeling of, oh God, I just don't sound ready yet when I speak, so I'd rather not speak. Well, I'm the first person to actually say this happens quite frequently to me. Actually, the first foreign language I studied was in my early 20s was English, and I frequently turned red whenever I talked to a fluent speaker. So now, after 40 years of language studying and with all that experience I want to share on this channel, I have today for you the three somatic ways that will actually knowing them that will help you overcome this fear of speaking, and knowing that also will help you to become fluent faster. And these three bodily somatic ways of reinforcing memory and reinforcing you becoming fluent in the new language, they help you to normalize, first of all, to accept yourself, to be very self-honest with yourself, to accept that it's normal to be fearful in the beginning, and then to move on from that and just to overcome that fear in small little nano steps. Hi, for those of you who are new to this channel, I'm Dr. Alex. I developed the Everyday Nano method, which is a lovely method that is helping you in small 5 minutes per day steps learn your new language in such a way that it's enjoyable, brain-friendly, and that you can speak with unshakable confidence. And this stems from two big strands of experience. One is I'm a social psychologist, so I'm actually applying social psychology to language learning, which helps a lot because it's basically doing yourself a favor of learning in such a way that your brain will benefit. So it's a healthy approach. And the second one is basically, I have now for the last 40 years studied languages. I grew up monolingual. I grew up in German. Then I added English. Unfortunately, in the traditional system of learning that language, it took me a long time. And that kind of I would call it suffering of many years not being able to speak, even though I had already studied for years. That kind of made me challenge myself over the years and say, there must be a better way. There must be a less suffering way. There must be a more efficient way. There must be a more brain-friendly way. And this is what I share on this channel. It's actually really ingrained in my own experience. And after English, I activated French in 3 years. Then I activated Spanish in 2 years, and currently I am studying Italian. And my aim is to share this with you on this platform so that we as a learning community, can actually develop that, I call it the skill of the new era, this skill of learning how to learn. I think it's one of the most fundamental skills in this new era of lots of information overflow, lots of distractions, lots of things where you're not sure, should I focus on this, should I focus on that? And then you just go very easily in overwhelm, overburden, and thinking that everything is so complex. And a normal human reaction then is just to leave it, to procrastinate and to not do anything and to basically not progress. And this is what life should not be about. Life should be about whatever you're learning, that it should be joyful, that it should be healthy, that it doesn't kind of drag you down because you have to study the new language. This should not be the feeling that you associate with language learning. And that also, it's about normalizing that fear is part of the process, normalizing not knowing, normalizing, you at the beginning, you don't know how to express yourself, but that's okay. And this kind of, it's a mindset of being very self-honest and also not taking language learning that seriously. It's not a science. And it's certainly not something becoming fluent. It's not something where you should be very overly perfectionistic with yourself. I know those of you who say they are studying for a degree, the new language, or they're studying for getting a new job in the new language, that it's actually very serious. Yes, of course. What I'm saying is just knowing yourself better, your mindset and your body can actually speed up that process of reaching that serious goal without suffering in chasing perfectionistic goals that don't serve you. And because I had that experience myself, what a difference the mindset can make, I actually want to share that with you because I know it works. Okay, so here it is. Actually, there are 3 somatic ways that can reinforce your learning, and I do them systematically in my courses. Here's the first one. First is called psychological safety, a term you probably know from the famous research by Amy Edmondson. She coined that term in terms of in any learning context, in any working context, in any collaboration context, you need to establish a context of safety, psychological safety, meaning it's okay to make errors. It's okay to be seen as not knowing. This is why in my courses, I actually, first of all, ask permission to the participants that we can correct each other. I normalize errors. I invite people to make as many errors as possible because that's how we learn the language. Speaking out the error and then being corrected and saying, yes, 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 it was like that, makes us memorize so much faster. For that to happen, for you to accept actually that an error is not something bad, you need to establish that psychological safety. And the best way to do that is, first of all, in your own self-talk, to give permission to yourself to make an error. It's like that. Life is like that. We are not perfect. We are just human beings and we all make errors on a daily basis. We need to give permission to ourselves and to others. So the self-compassion and the compassion with others is important. So what you can say to yourself is, yeah, well, I said that sentence in a wrong way. It was funny. We laughed about it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It actually matters that you retain the sentence. So what you can do to train that is also to set your expectations in that way. To say, okay, I probably won't remember that sentence tomorrow, not even the day after tomorrow, but I will make sure I repeat that sentence. I have my little post-it for that sentence on my whatever kitchen cupboard. And I will repeat it the whole week, and then maybe 2 months after that, and I know in 1 year I will know that sentence. This kind of confidence that errors and not knowing are part of the process, that makes you feel safe and trusting the process, if you see what I mean. It's not only in a classroom setting. So in a classroom setting, it's more like normalizing errors in front of others, but with yourself, it's normalizing. If I now repeat this sentence, I will not know it tomorrow. That is psychological safety, feeling safe, that learning is not a curve that is completely steadily progressing. It's a trial and error process that allows your brain slowly but surely to adapt to the new meaningful patterns that you're actually acquiring. So this is number one. It's this creating psychological safety for yourself and for others. And please drop me a comment as always, what you feel about that and how you can relate to that in your own life. Number 2 is child mode and going into a playful, fun way of repeating simple sentences, role-playing simple situations out of your real life, and going back into that kind of curious, I call it the Star Explorer mindset, where you just go, you reconnect to your child self, and you explore, you test out things, you say something, and I do that in my classes. I do a lot of role plays where we simulate real situations. I ask the participants, okay, what are situations you experience a lot in your real life? And then we play that. We play that in such a way that I play a character, they play a character, and we try to enact that situation in the new language. And the funnier this can be, the better for your memory, because your body actually releases dopamine whenever you laugh, whenever you have a positive, playful situation or feeling, your body releases dopamine to act, and this actually reinforces your learning. So the more you tap into that bodily force in this kind of playful child mode, the more you learn and the more you will retain, actually. Also, memory happens through social experience. So whenever you think back of that role play, that sentence you said that was completely tapping into a false friend, everyone was laughing. We were psychologically safe. We were not laughing about the other. We were laughing with the other because it was so funny. That will help you retain the sentence. And this is so strong. You will see actually you will progress so much quicker. In the next situation, you will just remember that phrase and then combine it with the next one. And that's how language learning progresses. And now the last one is number 3 is movement and physicality when learning. I have said that in earlier videos. Active recall. Active recall is combining passively intaking something, so looking up something you want to say, checking the grammar, and then going away, repeating that by walking around the room, going for a walk and saying it to yourself, or basically moving while repeating that sentence, while you're actually training yourself to repeat that sentence and also to study the mouth movements for that sentence. Because as you know, when we learn the meaningful patterns of a new language, it's also important to do repetitions of practicing the mouth movements. It's like playing an instrument, or it's like training a new sport. You need to get the muscles right in terms of pronunciation. And that can only happen if you use your body to reinforce that. It's like training for sport. You need to practice, practice, practice. And this, as I said, happens in small daily practice. So this can be, as I said, including it in an effortless way in your daily routine. So whenever you're cooking, whenever you're walking, whenever you are on your business commute, to include those 5 minutes in such a way that you make sure, okay, I realize I need to practice that sentence. Let's say it aloud 3 times. And there you have it. There you have your daily practice already. And this might seem always so little that some people, even, I have lots of students who come to me and say, are you really sure this is not really studying hard? And yes, exactly. I assure you, this way makes it far more sustainable in the long term, because whenever you tell your brain it's only that, you will keep going. And if you keep going for 2 years, I can promise you, you will be on an intermediate level. Now, these were the 3 somatic ways of how to reach fluency much quicker. Let me know in the comments, as always, how that resonates with you. And thanks for having spent this moment with me. I'm looking forward to see you in the next video.